Welcome to the CB Cowgirls podcast. You are listening to In the Break with the CB Cowgirls. Today's episode features Jennifer Casey. She is one of the top WPRA breakaway ropers, and we caught up with her in Sandpoint. Hi, this is Becky Mapston, and I am here in Sandpoint, Idaho at the Bonner County Rodeo, and we are just getting ready for the first performance on a Friday night. 7:30 is start time, and I am catching up with none other than Jennifer Casey, and she is one of our breakaway ropers and actually one of the founders that really kind of got behind it and got this going in the PRC. So Jennifer, thanks for joining me. Tell me a little bit about how this all got started.
It all got started because several committees, specifically Dave Paul with Coeur d'Alene, wanted an event to fill his stands during the day. There was someplace for the people to come and watch. And by the third year, we were filling the stands, or, starting to fill the stands on a Thursday afternoon. And then Kennewick got involved because of my dad, and kind of the same thing. And 3 years ago, 2017, Coulee City, Pete Berry and Last Tan Rodeo, they decided to add us to the performances, and we really have not slowed down since. The first year, I think we had 6 or 7, and I think we're up to 9 or 10 at least within the circuit this year. And then we have 35. The WPRA is limiting. That's kind of been our limiting factor. But I think next year we're a go, and our new season starts September 4th. So after that, we're free for all. So
that is such an amazing gift for the women of professional rodeo and just the young ladies coming up the ranks that want to have some diversity to be able to travel down the road. What would you say, or how would you explain breakaway roping to the, every year fan that comes to a rodeo year after year that's never seen breakaway roping?
I think the best way to describe breakaway roping is we're the catch and release of the tie-down roping. So you rope the calf. It's super quick. The rope's tied onto our saddle horn with a light piece of string, and as soon as we catch the calf, we stop our horse and it breaks away. And the times can vary from low 2 seconds to 6-second runs. It just really depends on the setup. If everybody got to watch Cheyenne a couple weeks ago, a 4-1 was an amazing time there, where at the American, 2 flats were really good. So it just really depends on the setup and your horsepower and the cattle.
Okay, so let's talk about the cattle a little bit. Do they have the same impact for breakaway ropers as, say, a calf roper when they get their draw and see who they have for a calf?
It does. It makes a pretty big difference in the breakaway. So usually, I wouldn't say the difference between the breakaway and the calf roping is usually, I use that term loosely, you can place on many of the calves, on 80% of the cattle. You might not win it.
Okay.
But then you get to these bigger ropings when there's 80 or 90 girls. Yes, you got to draw to be able to be really, really fast on that calf. So sometimes it has an impact. I think horsepower has more impact than anything, because really in the breakaway roping, if you have enough horsepower, it can make those fast cattle look average, and that's really what we're striving for. And I think as breakaway ropers, we're having to up the ante in our horsepower so that we can have enough horsepower that if we go to a rodeo and are drawing faster cattle, that we have enough horsepower that they can be the equalizer for us.
And how has it been for you guys out on the road traveling? Have you been welcomed pretty much everywhere you go? Has it been pretty easy to get adjusted into this new format?
It has been. Like specifically Sandpoint, I haven't probably been here since it's been a Pro West rodeo. So it's been awesome to get to go back to these places and to compete at committees or at locations that I only ever dreamed of competing at. And we are welcomed with open arms. It's pretty amazing. The stock contractors like us because it's an easy event to provide cattle to. The committees love us because we provide that other 50% of their spectators and their sponsorship dollars are female, and that is the driving force behind, I'm pretty sure, breakaway roping, because the spectator and the fan base is speaking to these committees and saying, we want more women. And look, here we are. We're a fast event and easy to understand.
Well, so the next question would be you've really paved the way, and you've really been working hard to make way for breakaway ropers. What are you doing for yourself outside of competing to help raise up some more breakaway ropers in the industry?
I have several different ventures to kind of support these breakaway ropers, because not only do you have every little girl that wants to pick up a breakaway rope now, which is awesome, right, and then you have people that are returning to the sport that have put down their ropes and are coming back. So we have started a podcast that's all things breakaway roping called All Focus and Grit. That's easy to find, and on there we talk about the details of breakaway roping, and it's awesome, and I can talk breakaway roping all day long. So that kind of fulfills that need. And then the other piece is I do some clinics, in-person clinics, but I've started a virtual coaching business for breakaway ropers. So for those busy breakaway ropers that are traveling so much, to be able to give them a way to have somebody to check in with that's easy and doesn't have to be in person. And oh my gosh, I was a little skeptical that it was going to work, and it works amazing. You know, somebody was having trouble at a couple rodeos they had last night, and they were up at 3 more today. They sent me their runs. We talked about it, and she had a whole new game plan for today. And, you know, as ropers or as competitors, just an outside set of eyes on something makes all of a difference, and, you know, we can make that shift and changes. So it's been a really fun adventure so far.
Well, it's been making a great impact so far. How do young women or women that are breakaway roping currently find you on your podcast as well as your virtual coaching?
Our podcast is called All Focus and Grit, and it's on iTunes and Spotify for sure that I know of. If they go to my personal Facebook page, Jennifer Casey, it's there, or Google, we'll find my webpage, and then from there it connects all three. Oh, okay. So just Google my name, and it usually comes up.
So where do you see the future going from? It's been going great so far. Where do you see it in the next 3 to 5 years?
So one of our rapid fire questions that we ask in our podcast is in what year do we predict that breakaway roping will be at the Thomas and Mack? And my prediction is 2024. Okay. So that's where it's going to go. Okay,
I'm going to say 2022, but we'll just see where it pans out. But thank you so much for joining me today, and I'm excited to see you guys run tonight, and good luck.
Oh, well, thank you very much. I appreciate it.
That's it from Sandpoint, and we'll be back at you tomorrow. Thank you for tuning in to another episode of In the Break with the CB Cowgirls on CB Cowgirls Podcast. Until next time, we'll see you down the rodeo road.